What's going on, guys? My name's Theoatrix, and today I actually have a bit of a different kind of video for my channel. Usually I would create content that is something that shows something useful in old school, but today I'm going to talk about the most useless skill that is in old school RuneScape. I was having a bit of a think about this, and there's quite a few that are somewhat useless. For example, Herb Lore is kind of useless since it's so money consuming, but in the scheme of raids, it becomes very, very useful for high levels, for making good potions, and also on an Iron Man, you need a high Herb Lore level because you're going to have a hard time without it. And then I had to think there's some other skills that are not necessarily required for your account, so you can still pretty much do everything without these, but since they're profitable, they aren't exactly useless. But once again, for Iron Man, these skills are pretty essential. And of course for quests and things like that. But the one here that really takes the prize for the most useless, like, it does have a little bit of use, but there is so many ways around it, and it's just pointless and pretty much a waste of money unless you're maxing or you're a completionist. And that skill, as you probably were going to expect, is Firemaking. The only real use that comes from Firemaking is from quest requirements and also achievement diary requirements. So Monkey Madness 2 has the highest Firemaking requirement of level 60 Firemaking, and then the Elite Kandarin Diary has a level 85 Firemaking requirement to make a pyre ship using magic log. There's a few other diaries with high Firemaking requirements. I think the Wilderness Diary has a 75 Firemaking requirement. But aside from that, the reason why this skill is so useless is because these are just requirements. There's not necessarily anything you're doing to do with Firemaking in these. You just need that requirement just to light a little fire somewhere mid-quest. Now, a couple of seconds ago, I was talking about how Firemaking is a waste of money, and yes, the Winter Todd, I know it does exist, and it is somewhat pretty good money, and there's also an opportunity for a pet there. And also, Iron Man can really benefit from the rewards from the Winter Todd minigame, but just then I said it's a minigame, it's not the skill that is useful. And also, to top this off, the higher the Firemaking level you have, it doesn't give you any better rewards at all, you simply just get more XP. Mod Kieran actually said that the rewards that you get from the Winter Todd, like the herbs, the fish, the gems, that all depends on your Herb Lore, mining, fishing, crafting, and farming levels. Nothing to do with your Firemaking. Another minigame where Firemaking comes into play is the Shades of Morton minigame. This minigame is actually somewhat profitable at higher Firemaking, and it's actually the only way to get the Amulet of the Damned. But once again, this minigame is pretty boring, and it really isn't needed for your account. To further enforce the point that Firemaking is not very useful at all, burning logs is so useless that you actually make money by picking up the ashes that they leave. Of course, fletching and things like that comes into play with the price of logs, but if Firemaking was more useful, then the logs would or should cost more than the ashes. And since ashes are used in a couple of quests and for potions, they cost 26 coins each, whereas willow logs and maple logs, for example, are 7 coins each. Firemaking does become somewhat useful when it comes to light sources. Each upgrade of light source has a less of a chance of going out or burning out. But at level 49 Firemaking, you can light a bullseye lantern, and that's pretty much all you'll ever need in terms of a light source, since it barely ever goes out. But honestly, you can really easily just get away with having a couple of candle lanterns, and they need 4 Firemaking, level 4, and you can just relight them whenever they go out. And also, you barely even need a light source in old school RuneScape, unless it's for a quest sequence or some of the caves in the game need one. Perhaps that could be an update opportunity for old school, more areas which need light sources. So for example, places like the Firemaking Slayer Cave is completely lit up the whole way through, even though there's no lava, no flames, no lighting. So maybe requiring a light source in more places, or even having more light sources, could be an interesting update for Firemaking. But I can kind of see the community backlashing a little bit, since you'll have to take more items in your inventory, and it's kind of deviating away a little bit from RuneScape as it was in 2007. The next thing to talk about is Barbarian Pyre Ships, and they need Firemaking levels to burn. But believe it or not, the higher the log you used to make the pyre ship doesn't increase the rewards that you get at all. So for those that don't know, you can get a dragon full helm from making a pyre ship and then burning it with chewed bones, and they're dropped from mithril dragons. But the chance of getting a dragon full helm is 1 in 250 for every single type of pyre ship. Another input where firemaking is used is the Enlightened Journey quest and the balloon transport system, and the highest requirement is level 60 firemaking in the balloon transport system, and that's to get to the Grand Tree. But the Grand Tree one is literally like next to the Spirit Tree, so it's pretty useless to use since it is a bit of a slow teleport method. And also at level 50 firemaking, you unlock the Castle Wars one, and you can just use a Ring of Dueling to get there anyway. I'm not going to go into detail about this because there is quite a bit to cover about the balloon systems. I might talk about that in a separate video. But basically, firemaking is somewhat useful for balloon transport, but the transport itself is barely ever used. So as you've probably realized, this whole video I've been trying to demonstrate the full use of firemaking in old school, but honestly, if you go back and look at all the reasons that I was talking about, you'll find that they are really some pretty shit useless uses. None of these are really required, and if they were mandatory, it's more like a one-off thing, like a requirement for a quest of some sort. Firemaking itself does not really come in handy in everyday playing. Anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about today. It was a bit of a rambly video, but I kind of just wanted to give my opinion on firemaking and a couple of pointers of how maybe it can be improved, or just some ideas. But anyway, now it's time for clip of the day. Traktori got the Scorpia pet, the Wilderness Demi-Boss pet, at his first ever kill count, which is insanely lucky. And then next we have Dryonk. He got the full black D-hide gold trimmed set in the same elite clue scroll. Obviously, it's not exactly worth a lot, but since it's the full set in the same clue, I had to include this because that is very lucky. Now, I've actually made a website, and that is the new system I'm going to be using for clips of the day. So there's going to be a link down below to my website, and you can find the submit page there. The link should take you straight there, and it's just quite a bit easier to fill out, and it's a bit more official rather than just sending me an email. And also, if you have any video ideas that you want to see, there's an option there to send them through. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you learned something or you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and also subscribe if you're new. And as always, thank you so much for watching and have a nice day.